I'm Dave Blume, and I'm the owner of Whiskey Hill Farms, and I also, in my other life, moonlight as a moonshiner, where I make alcohol from various things as fuel. But what we have here today is an example of the byproducts from alcohol fuel producing a superior crop. And here's my partner.
Hey, Darin Olien here, Superfood Hunter. Traveled around. I was just telling David when we came in here, last time I was around a lot of turmeric, I was in India, and he asked me how high that was, and it was naturally growing, and it was half the size. So obviously, the permaculturist master here is doing some things that I want to know about, and I bet you do too, because this is super turmeric. So we're going to learn about this.
All right, well, this turmeric is ending nearly the end of its life. And so what turmeric does is all the wonderful juices that you see in these leaves here, including all these veins, if you can see those, these veins are full of turmeric oil, and all this stuff is now heading down into the rhizomes, which are similar to roots. And that's what we sell from turmeric are the rhizomes. They look a lot like ginger. So all of this plant matter that you see, that double the height of the stuff you normally see, has been making food that is now all going down into the rhizomes. So our yields will be quite high, but also extra healthy. Now, how do we get our turmeric to become, the magnificent crop that we have here?
How do you, David?
Well, we were talking about this, Darin, that people, we breathe oxygen, and plants breathe carbon dioxide. So obviously, if we could give the plants a little more carbon dioxide, they'd have more to eat. But in the greenhouse here, well, we have our own little world. And so if we take carbon dioxide from our making of alcohol back there, when we ferment sugar, we make alcohol and carbon dioxide, and we send it into the greenhouse here, well, the plants can take full advantage of that and grow twice as tall. So we have 7-foot tall turmeric behind us, and all of that is sending its juices down into the base where we get absolutely beautiful turmeric, which has lots of active ingredients in it, and it's really juicy compared to some of the dried little, things that I can't think of a really polite term for it, so I won't say it, what they kind of look like in the store. But we've had people from India come in here and look at the turmeric that we grow here, and they start crying because they go, oh, this is like home. This is like the real thing, instead of some dried up junk from Jamaica or Hawaii, which is, not really well taken care of. In a perfect environment like this greenhouse with the extra CO2, we're able to make a superior product. Now, if you'll come back and look this way, we also demonstrate a couple of other things. You'll see some old cucumbers here, which are finishing up their life. And these cucumbers were grown not just for the cucumbers, which we did harvest, lemon cucumbers, but you look at the size of the leaf of turmeric, and they're big. Now, you should know that when you see big leaves, these plants are growing where there's a lot of shade, like the edge of a forest.
Capture,
yeah. So they need the big leaf to get the solar energy to grow. But if you try to grow something out there in full sun, which all your seed packets tell you to do, and of course they're all lying to you, because plants can't use the full sun generally. What this does is at 10 o'clock in the morning, it gets overwhelmed by sunlight and can no longer photosynthesize. It just shuts down for the day until the sun gets weaker toward the end of the day, and then the plant can start to grow again. So what we do by providing partial shade by growing a crop above is we're kind of imitating the edge of the forest where this plant probably originally came from. And the partial shade allows the plant to grow more of the day without becoming photosaturated. And they don't teach this at agricultural school, I know, because Tom and I have been there and I've lectured at them, and they all get this glazed look like, oh, you mean plants can't use all the sun? But think about it for a second. If it needed to live in full sun and a tree puts a branch over that plant and makes shade on it, and it needed full sun, well, it's going to die, right? No, plants don't die because they get a little shade. They actually grow better. So our turmeric gets the really royal treatment in here. And when I'm down there talking to my farmer buddies at breakfast, and they're all bragging about their broccoli got $30 a box, and it's like 30 pounds, And they go, well, what are you getting on that turmeric stuff, Dave? I say, well, we don't have a box as big as your box. It's only 10 pounds, but I get $200 a box. His table always goes silent at that point, like, dang, organic kid. Here he is showing us something again. So anyway, turmeric is a good crop for us. It's a good crop for the planet, and it's one of the most important nutritional things that people can do for inflammation every day of the week. So we enjoy growing it, and it actually makes farming profitable for us because quite often farming is pretty difficult to make a profit. So anyway, using the surplus of heat we've grown a crop that'll take advantage of it. We've given it the carbon dioxide from the alcohol plant. It took advantage of it, and we can visually see the benefits of that.
And the thing about David, you quickly realize, is he's not letting anything go to waste.
So what you're seeing here are the rhizomes of turmeric. Okay, so these are the parts we sell. The light colored tips are the still expanding sections from the juices coming down the stalk. And the yellow color inside is the curcumin, which is the active ingredient that everybody needs for their health. Yep. So you can see from the color that, this is, quite happy turmeric. And the whole thing with growing turmeric is you have to have really wonderful soil. And by wonderful, you mean really rich and full of microorganisms that help break down the parts of the soil and make it available to the plant. And they hook onto the roots to make that happen. So, we're doing exactly what the plant needs versus trying to force the soil to hydroponically, you might say, grow a crop by putting chemical fertilizers on and sterilizing the soil, which is the opposite of what the plant needs. And so this kind of, product is the result of good farming. That's a little tiny one there.